Hello, this is Skipper. Welcome to your second Java tutorials. And today we are going to talk about writing Java code, which I'm not an expert, compiling and saving these Java codes, and also running them. And so let's begin. Okay, in the first tutorial, I made mention of JDK, which must be installed. And then your command prompt and your notepad must also be working. So today we are going to compile, we are going to write, and we are going to save. So let's start today's lesson. We are going to write a simple Java program, and in this simple Java program we are going to see how we can compile them and how we can save, and I'll also add how we can run them too. Okay, so all that we are going to do shall be in step. And our first step is to create a folder on the local disk C, which is our local hard drive, with any name or even your index number. So all that you have to do is you open your folder, then you move to your local disk C, and then you create a folder here. And let's name it YouTube. And all that you have to do for step 1 is this. Then you minimize your folder. And then we move to step 2. Step 2 is to open your text editor. So when you followed me from tutorial 1, I said the best text editor was the notepad. And the only way you can access notepad is to go to all program, and then you look for accessories, and then you locate your notepad. Okay, so let's try and type this simple program. Please, you just follow me. You may not understand what I'm typing, but you have to follow me. I may not give you all the answers because I'm not the master of coding. Okay, so let's try and type the public class YouTube. We are going to name our class as YouTube. And there must not be any space between the name of your class. And then you open your curly bracket, and then you have your public status val, then your main, then you open your bracket, then your string, which has a capital, then your square bracket, enter, you open another square bracket, then enter. Then you type system dot out dot println. And as you open two curly brackets, you have to close it with the same two curly brackets. Okay, so we are done with this simple Java code. And then we have the public class YouTube, which is the class definition. public class YouTube, which is the class definition. And we can see it contains the keyword class, which identifies YouTube as a class. So here it's identifying YouTube as a class. And the reserved word, which is the public, is an access modifier. Good. You just have to follow. So we enclose the content of all classes with curly brackets, and that's what we did. So the next line of code is the public status var main, and then we have string in the bracket, and then double, that's the square bracket, and then we have the args. This is a method header for the main. It's a method header for the main method. And then we have the status. Status allow the main to be called without having to instantiate a particular instance of the class. The val tells the compiler that the main does not return a value. The main or the val tells the main that the compiler must not return any value. And then we have the string, and then the double, square bracket, and the argument. And that one is a parameter, which is an array of instances of the class string. Array of the instances of the class string. Okay, so there are plenty. I just don't want to confuse you. I may talk blah 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 without any sense. So all that we are going to do is that the system.out.print is a very key necessity in Java. Okay, so the system.out.print line prints a line on your computer, which is what is in the double bracket. Your end results to appear. This is how you put it, which is the system.out.print line. It gives you a line which is inside a bracket. That is what you typed inside the bracket. And what I typed was, welcome to your second Java tutorials. And so let's go ahead and move to step 3. Step 3 helps us to save this simple Java code. And so the only way we can save it is to move to the file, and then we go to save as. And then we move to the C, which is the local disk C, because we created our folder on the local disk C. And then you open to your folder you created on the local disk C. And then you come down to the file name. Come down to the file name, and then you type, starting with a double quote, you type the name of the class. Please do not type any other name. You type the name of the class. When you take this one, when you take the public class YouTube, your class is YouTube, and so the file name must also be the same as the class name. And if there is capital in your class name, there must also be capital in your file name. And so we save it as the same as the class name. Then you bring your .java, because you are saving it as Java. And you need not to just write YouTube, but you have to add the .java, and then you save. Okay, so when we are done saving, we minimize the notepad, and then we move to accessories. The same procedure, all programs. Then where are you, accessory? Okay, this accessory, and then we look for the command prompt. Okay, so our first move before we can we can run the program is to compile it. So when we compile program, it takes whatever we have written, which is the computer takes whatever we have written and transform it into its language, which is the class file, which the computer understands. So all we got to do is to find the file. So move 2. The second move we have to do is we type cd, then with the backslash. Or you can also type cd, then space c colon then the backslash, which works perfectly. And this means that it takes you to the very beginning of your hard drive, which is the C drive. Okay, so the next move, which is the second move, is to type the cd and then the name of your folder, which means that it's going to send you right inside your folder. So the first one is to take you to your C drive where you have created your folder, and then the second one is cd and then the name of your folder, which I named YouTube with small u, and it sends me right inside the folder. So I have this YouTube replacing or adding to the C on the far right. Okay, so our next move is to set apart. Now that we have called our folder into the command line, we also have to set apart. You see, we are using JDK and we have different versions of JDK. So the path is going to tell us which type of JDK we are using. And I'm using JDK 1.7.0_21. And so in creating the path, you must let all these things follow. So I'll put them down on the screen, and then you see all these things and you must learn them before our next tutorial. So you set your path. You add bin, so you set your path equal to, so if there is no error it comes in this form, and then when you are done you type javac or javac, then the name of the folder, the name you gave to your folder, so with the name you gave to your file, yes, the name you gave to your file. So you type javac attach or javac, and then the name of the file, which I did it capital U tube.java. That is the name of my file, which I saved in the folder YouTube with small u. And when you are done, you just press the enter key. If there is no error, it follows in that order how you started. No error, so you can see there is no error. If there was to be an error, a lot of messages will come. In our next tutorial, we will talk about the errors, and then I'll make sure that I make a mistake, and then we will see what will happen. But for now, let's stick to this one. So when you are done, our next command line is to type java, which is java, and then you type your YouTube, which is capital U tube, and you press enter. I'm not going to continue because in our next tutorial we are going to try more examples into it. So I'll end here, and then I'll try my best to find more simple codes that we may try in our next tutorial. So all that I want to do is to leave you here, and then in our next tutorial we are going to talk about, or we are going to learn into these simple Java programs, and we are going to run some of them. Yes, so I call it the running of the Java course part 1. So make it a point, and then let's try and meet God. If God permits us, we will try and meet in our next tutorials. Amen. So see you same time next week.